Don't even have the cigarettes out of the pack yet. Slacking today. It's probably just continuing boomeration from last night. And yeah, yet again the stream got cut off early. There's some setting or something on Streamlabs that I have to have a look at. So hopefully I can figure it out. Or find something better to use. And it's very possible that it's simply an internet issue that I have no real control over. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to tap it there. There you go. And I'm still having trouble with my voice. Of course, the first thing out of most people is, well, you should probably stop smoking. Yeah, because I want to be on a bunch of antidepressants. Anyway. So, want to talk a little bit about overuse of the pattern recognition software that humans are programmed with from evolution. It is very, very easy for us to see patterns in all sorts of things. I'm also just posting something to Gab at the moment so I can post it to Discord. Yeah, the lengths I go to make a joke. Anyway, people have an innate tendency, a very common tendency, to, okay, camera angle's okay. Is the camera still shaking? No, okay. People have a very innate tendency to find patterns that don't necessarily exist. Excuse me. They turn up in things like superstitions, stereotypes, and yes, there is a certain degree of truth in a lot of stereotypes, but some of them are clearly just ass backwards. For example, I went shopping with one of my black friends once, and he's from the Caribbean, and there was a lady there who was talking about, she was offering samples, free samples of this cocoa butter moisturizer. And having used cocoa butter moisturizer, because people who have thyroid disease have some tendencies to go up and down in weight that causes your skin to thicken. Okay, that's almost done. But because that causes your skin to thicken, it can be much more difficult to get a good moisturizer. That posted. Oh, check out my Gab. That's where I posted this piece about the racism inherent in American Sign Language, which a comedian had mentioned before, but it turned out to be something I didn't want to do as a YouTube video for obvious reasons. But Gab tends to be much more free speech focused, to be fair. It may be something we could describe as permissive, but I don't think that's necessarily fair either. In any case, I was talking about pattern recognition and stereotypes. Let me grab the link for this real quick. Okay, where are you? Yep. I'm not familiar with Gab's platform too much, so I tend to be a little clumsy with it. There we go, that's on the clip tray. Okay, and so I worked out a workaround, hyphen. What I'm talking about, this workaround, is because Discord wouldn't allow me to post a video directly because it was simply too big. I just did the video on, goodness, get in there, there we go. Okay, so I ended up doing the video on my phone. That turned out to be too big for Discord. So, in finding a workaround, what I did was switch it to, or post it to Gab, and then post the link to Discord. Now, back to pattern recognition. It is one of our very greatest strengths. Pattern recognition kept us alive for millennia. I don't know how big an eon is, but probably some of them too. But, sorry. Let me pause for a second, see if I can clear that. Sorry, I was telling a story about cocoa butter. So, me and my friend were standing there talking to this lady, and I said, well, I'd like to try that. And she says, okay. And she asked why, and as I'm applying the stuff to my hand and discovering I really like it, she asked me why, and I said, well, my skin is very thick. And without missing a beat, without acting like it's anything strange, she looks at my friend, looks at me, she goes, well, but his skin would be much thicker. And Bert, which is his nickname, it's not really his real name, so I'm sure he won't mind me naming him. Bert looks at me, and I look at Bert, and we both go, what? I looked at Bert and I went, can I feel the back of your hand? And just to, okay, sure. Sounds strange, but empirical evidence is far better than anything else. So, of course, I pinched the back of his hand. His skin is papery compared to mine. And, of course, then he pinches the back of mine and he goes, holy crap, right? And I looked at the lady and I said, why would you think his skin was thicker than mine? And she did say, it was something that she believed was true about black people. So, okay, that's kind of strange. She said it's not true. I said, absolutely, it's not true. And as far as I know, other than color, that's it. That's the only difference in our skins. Now, there may be some other genetic minor differences, but that's it. Other than the color, there's really no difference in human skin. But this lady had been given a stereotype, a wrong stereotype, from some pattern recognition someone in the past had passed on to her. It was a wrong pattern recognition, wherever the source might have been. And the reason I bring that up is because with all the apparent sabotaging and attacking of various energy infrastructure around North America, when Hoover Dam went off, someone suggested to me last night on the stream, I won't out them, but they know who they are, and if you really wanted to know, you could go through the stream. It's really not germane to the conversation. But that same sort of pattern recognition kind of kicked in for him. And I can easily visualize where that came from. My personal feeling is that it was more likely some sort of industrial accident. I mean, Hoover Dam is very old. So, and I believe there is definitely a heavier load on that hydroelectric facility right now than normal. It's the middle of summer. And it's hot as balls. Most places. But this is my point. Just because you see the pattern doesn't mean it exists for the reason you think it does. Or that it even exists. One of the worst things about the mainstream media's environment right now is that they rush to judgment. It happened with Sandman, Rittenhouse, Floyd, Jayland Walker. There's dozens of these where BLM and the media jump to the conclusion that, oh, this person was shot, so they must be the good person in the issue. No. No, people who aren't innocent get shot a lot more than people who are. A lot more. Look at the number of gang shootings. Look at Chicago. I really dislike that I use Chicago for an example so often, but look at Chicago. Do you really think all the people getting shot there are innocent? And if you do believe that, I have a bridge in New Mexico I'd like to sell you. But, or some tropical property in Alaska you might be interested in. But while that pattern recognition is very helpful, when you're looking at a potential, we'll call it a potential conspiracy theory, and yeah, I'm very aware that most conspiracy theories now last about 6 months before they're proven, but when you're looking for a conspiracy, or looking at the possibility of a conspiracy theory or something that fits that sort of pattern, excuse me, it is very important that you have some sort of evidence before you try to draw a conclusion. Otherwise, you're really risking, well, you risk looking like an idiot, but that's minor compared to looking like someone who should be paid attention to, who actually happens to be an idiot. No! Oh, geez, that cleared that right out. But, yeah. Be careful of the conclusions you allow yourself to jump to. Not saying you're wrong, not saying you're right, just saying that it's good to have more than just your opinion to go off of. I think that's good. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a tester stream at some point today. Won't really be concerned about live chat or anything like that. It's to get me more familiar with Streamlabs and to see if I can address what these issues are, at least on my end. If it turns out to be internet infrastructure related, there's not a lot I can do other than try to find a better time to do it, and that might mean returning to well, Saturday morning's kind of out. I've kind of got a running commitment there. Damn you, Bezic. But worst comes to worst, I'll go back to doing things on a weekend morning. And if if worst comes to worst, I'll go back to a weekend morning. It's not that big a deal. And hopefully then, if the internet problem that I'm having is related to traffic, then that should be a decent time, because where I live, there's still a lot of people who go to church and still a lot of people who sleep in on Sundays. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm getting better at keeping my videos focused, because they seem to be getting shorter. It's probably a good sign I'm not rambling anymore. Anyway, I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days. 1 second. I hope you continue to have good days. Love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, missed the button.